So friends, now it is deduction from salary. So listen friends, listen. See, we have started our discussion from allowance. So the first thing that we discussed under salary is allowance. So in examination, whenever they are asking a question in relation to the head salary, first you have to do, you have to consider all the taxable components of salary. You have to consider all the taxable components of salary. Basic salary, DLS allowance, bonus, commission, allowances, pension, gratuity, provident fund, whatever it is, perquisites, etc. You have to note down each and every taxable component. This is your duty number 1. After noting down all the taxable component, you compute the gross salary. You compute what? Gross salary by adding everything together. Your basic salary, DA, commission, bonus, etc., you add together and you compute your gross salary. From gross salary, an assessee can take 3 types of deduction. From gross salary, an assessee can take 3 types of deduction. That is what we are going to discuss right now. Are you with me? From gross salary, every person can take 3 types of deduction. That's what we are going to discuss right now. So, deduction from the head salary. Let's understand which are the deductions that we can claim. Number 1, it is said to be what? Standard deduction. Every person can take a standard deduction from the head salary. Let's understand how much is the standard deduction. We are now discussing only about old slab because there are certain changes in the new slab. 115 BAC, there are certain changes. You tell me, when are we planning to study 115 BAC? When after completing all the 5 heads and set of clubbing and chapter 6A reduction, we have a chapter called as computation of total income. In the computation of total income, I will be covering 115 BAC with all the differences of 115 BAC compared to the old slab. Then you will get a clear idea on what exactly is 115 BAC. For the time being, for till that time, forget about BAC. Stick on to old slab rates. Are you with me? Now, how much is the standard deduction? Standard deduction of rupees 5,000 or amount of salary, whichever is lower, shall be the deduction. Either rupees 50,000 or your actual gross salary, whichever is lower, shall be the deduction. Are you with me? Simply it means every person can claim a standard deduction of rupees 50,000. If his gross salary is less than 50,000, then only up to the gross salary. Don't claim standard deduction and say that I'm incurring a loss. That is not possible. Are you with me? If you are a salary person, you cannot end up in loss. That's what the department says. You will never end up in loss. Either your taxable salary shall be nil or there will be something to tax. It cannot be a negative or a loss situation. Are you all with me? Yeah. So very simple. How much is the standard deduction? Either rupees 50,000 or the actual gross salary, whichever is lower. Is that point clear? Is that point clear? Not yet all. What is the second deduction? That is deduction for entertainment allowance. If you are a person and your employer pays you what? Entertainment allowance for movies, for for other entertainment, etc. If your employer is giving you what? Entertainment allowance, then you are eligible for a deduction for that. First of all, you have to include that entertainment allowance as your taxable gross salary. You have to include that entertainment allowance as a part of your taxable gross salary. Then from that, if you are a government employee, both state government or a central government employee, then you can claim a deduction. That also means that only government employees can claim a deduction for entertainment allowance received, not for others. Are you with me? Are you with me? Only who can claim? Government employees alone can claim a deduction for the entertainment allowance received, not for the other private sector employees. For private sector employees, all the entertainment allowance received shall be fully taxable. Is that point clear? Is that point clear? If you're a government employee, you can claim all the entertainment allowance received as a deduction. No. Listen. So, and how much is the deduction? It shall be the lower of either 1/5 of basic salary. What do you mean by 1/5? 1/5 means 20% of basic salary. Yes or no? Either it is 20% of basic salary or rupees 5,000 or actual entertainment allowance received. Either 1/5 of the basic salary or 5,000 per annum or actual entertainment allowance received, whichever is lower. Are you with me? So either 20% of the basic salary or 5,000 rupees per month, not per month, per annum or actual entertainment allowance received, whichever is lower. Is that point clear? And this entertainment allowance can be claimed only by whom? Only by whom? Government employees. I hope that also is clear. Perfect. Moving on to the third deduction, which is the third deduction, professional tax. Every person who is an employee in India have to pay the professional tax. Every person in India who is employed have to pay professional tax. Normally it is 1,000 to 2,500. Normally it is 1,000 rupees to 2,500 rupees a year. Are you with me? Are you with me? So what department say? Deduction only if it is actually paid by the employee during the previous year. How much ever is the professional tax that you are suffering from your pocket, that amount can be claimed as a deduction. If you are paying that professional tax from your pocket, that payment can be allowed as a deduction. Are you with me? So professional tax paid by a person is allowed as a deduction. Are you all with me? Professional tax is not an income tax, okay? This professional tax is not an income tax. So we don't have to compute the professional tax by our own. If there is a professional tax payment, you can deduct that payment from taxable salary. That's it. Are you with me? Now friends, listen. There are certain situations where your employer will pay the professional tax from his pocket for your behalf. There are certain situations where your employer will pay the professional tax from his pocket for your benefit. Are you with me? If your employer is paying professional tax from his pocket for the benefit of employee, then you tell me what to do. If the employer is paying the professional tax from his pocket for the employee's benefit, then you tell me what to do. Very simple. First of all, say 2,000 rupees is the payment made by your employer in a year for your benefit. So you tell me it has to be gone from the pocket of employee. That has to be normally paid from the pocket of employee. Paid it employee. You tell me, are you getting a benefit? Are you getting a benefit? Yes. What's your benefit? You saved rupees 2,000. It's gone from your employer's pocket. So, no. So what department say? If the employer is paying the perquisite for the benefit of employee, that 2,000 shall become taxable perquisite of employee. It will become what? Taxable perquisite of employee. Are you with me? Are you with me? So you have to add it to the gross salary. You have to add it to the gross salary. While computing deduction, you can claim again this 2,000 rupees as a deduction. Are you with me? So if the employer is paying the professional tax for your benefit, that amount paid by the employer has to be a part of your gross salary, and the same have to be deducted as your professional tax payment as well. So you have to add it and less it. If you do nothing, the answer will be the same. You will lose marks. This is how you have to treat the. This is not mathematics we are studying. This is Income Tax Act. So this is a rule. You have to follow the rule. This is kind of a disclosure. If the employer is paying that professional tax from his pocket, show it as a perquisite taxable while computing the gross salary. Thereafter, claim the same amount as a deduction from the professional tax paid. Is that clear? Is that point clear? So we can see a note under that particular point. What is the note? If professional tax is reimbursed by or directly paid by the employer on behalf of the employee, the amount so paid first included in the salary income and then allowed as a deduction under section 16. This is how you have to deal with professional tax. So 3 deductions. Number 1. How much is standard deduction? Either rupees 50,000 or your gross salary, whichever is lower. Number 2. Entertainment allowance deductible only by the government employees, that means state or central. How much is the deduction? 20% of your basic salary or rupees 5,000 or actual entertainment allowance received, whichever is lower. Then the third one, partial tax. Partial tax, if you are paying it from your pocket, then that amount paid by you is allowed as a deduction. So, what is 89 relief? Let's understand what is relief. So, can you read the first paragraph under this particular heading, where by a reason of any portion of an assessee's salary being paid in arrears or in advance, or by reason of his having received any one financial year salary for more than 12 months, or a payment of profit in lieu of salary under section 17(3), his income is assessed at a rate higher than the rate which it would otherwise have been assessed, then assessing officer shall on application made to him in this behalf grant such relief as prescribed. If you read this sentence twice, thrice, etc., even after that also you will not understand anything. Are you with me? For understanding this 4 sentence, I'll give you a lengthy example. That is the only way I can make you understand the concept. Are you with me? There are very less chances of asking this relief, but still let me cover that as well. Are you with me? So I think in the last 5-10 attempts they have never tested this, but still let's study that as well. Why should we skip that? So let me give you one example so that you will understand the concept behind the relief. So let's understand what is this relief. For that, I'm making use of a lengthy example, and I want all of you to be super attentive. Otherwise, there is no use of reading the theory again and again and again. So I'm making use of a lengthy example. I want all of you to be super attentive. Are you all with me? Yes. All right, perfect. So let's start with the example. Say in the year 2023-24, in the PY 2023-24, you are my employees. You are my employees, and your annual salary. Your annual salary, which is computed. Which is computed. What do you mean by annual salary computed? All the deductions, exemptions, etc. have been already incorporated. This is the computed figure. Are you with me? Are you with me? Say the computed salary was say 9 lakh. Are you all here? Now, in 23-24, you already asked me for a wage revision. You asked me for a wage revision. You told me that you want extra 3 lakhs. You want what? Extra 3 lakhs. But I told you that I have no plans to give you extra 3 lakhs salary. Are you with me? So we were in a dispute. We were in what? A dispute. My employee want me to pay additional 3 lakh rupees in 23-24, but I denied it. I said no more salary revision. No salary revision and all. So we were in a dispute. But that year got over. I paid only 9 lakh and the dispute goes on. Are you with me? In the very next year, our dispute got settled. Some labor party also involved, and our dispute got settled. And I agreed to pay you additional 3 lakh. Are you with me? So, in the year 2024-25, your current year annual salary, say it become 12 lakh. Your current year annual salary become 12 lakh, and I paid an arrear of salary for the last year. What is arrear? Last year onwards, you wanted that additional 3 lakh. And I told you that I have no plans to give you that extra 3 lakh in the last year. Are you with me? But this year, the Labour Party also came in and they told me that you have to give that extra salary for the last year, and from this year onwards, the salary should be 12 lakh. This was the settlement that we came into. Are you with me? So this year I paid additional 3 lakh. And this 3 lakh is for which year? This is for 23-24. And now, how much is the total income that you got in 24-25? 15 lakh. Are you with me? Now, let's do some math. So, have you understood this much? So, in 23-24, you want an additional 3 lakh that you got. But in which year? 24, 25 only I have agreed to it. And I paid you the payment 2024, 25 additional 3 lakh. Are you all with me? Now, can you compute the tax liability for the year 23-24? What would be the tax liability? How much is the basic tax liability? Basic tax liability on this 9 lakh. Can you help me? How much will be the basic tax liability on 9 lakh if you put it under slab rates? If you are a person having a normal age, up to 2,50,000, nil. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5%. 5 to 10, 20%. 10 above, 30%. Apply the slab rate and tell me how much is the basic tax liability coming. Let's see. Up to 2,50,000 nil. Nothing shall be taxable. Then from 2.5 to 5 lakh, 5%. That will be 12,500. Then 5 to 9 lakh, it is around 4 lakh into 20%. And how much is 4 lakh? 80,000. So altogether, how much will be the amount? 92,500. Plus there will be cess at 4%. How much is 4% on 92,500? How much is 4% on 92,500? 3,700. So can you tell me how much is that? 96,200 is the tax liability. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This you have paid in the year, which year? 2023-24. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you help me in computing the basic tax liability for 24-25? How much will be the basic tax liability in the year 24-25? Can you help me in computing the basic tax liability for the year 24-25? So, up to 2.50 lakh nil. 2.50 lakh to 5 lakh at 5%. That will be 12,500. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. That will be rupees 1 lakh. 10 above it is 5 lakh into 30%. That is 1,50,000. So help me in computing the basic tax liability. 2,62,500. And cess will be at 4%. And how much is 4% cess? 10,500. So altogether, how much is the liability? Come again? 2,73,000. 73,000 is the tax liability figure coming. Are you all with me? Have you understood this much? Now listen. Now there is a hardship for this employee. What is the hardship? Imagine if that 3 lakh, if he would have received that 23-24's 3 lakh in 23-24 itself, there would have been some tax savings. When he received that 23-24's 3 lakh in 24-25, what happened? That become taxable under the 30% slab. Yes or no? If he would have received this 3 lakh in last year itself, if he would have received that 3 lakh in last year itself, then what would have happened? That 9 lakh would have become 12 lakh. And he would have to pay taxes for 12 lakh. That means that 2 lakh only will be subject to the 30% slab. Right now, since he received that 3 in 24-25, that entire 3 fall to 30% slab. Yes or no? Now he is eligible for a relief because he has suffered not on account of his mistake. His employer only denied the extra salary last year. This year only he agreed to pay the last year's salary, additional 3. Yes or no? So now we have to compute the relief under section 89. This is how we have to compute the relief, or these are the situations where you have to compute the relief. Now the question is, how do you compute the relief? Now for relief computation, what you need to do is, listen, see, if that 3 lakh, if it would have received in 23-24, what would have been the total income of 23-24? If it would have received in the year 23-24, what would have been the total income in the year 23-24? If 3 lakhs would have received in the previous year 2023-24, its total income would have become how much? Rupees 12 lakh. Yes or no? Yes or no? So based on 12 lakh, we can say if the total income is 12 lakh, can you compute the basic tax liability and cess? How much is the basic tax liability and cess together? Compute and tell me. If his tax liability, if his total income would have been 12 lakh, compute the basic tax liability plus cess in the year 23-24. What is the figure coming? 1,17,000. That includes 79,400 including 4% cess. 1,79,400. That includes cess as well. Are you with me? No, not yet all. If he would have received that 3 lakh in 23-24, what would have been his total income in 24-25? That 15 also will become 12. If he would have received that extra 3 lakh in 23-24, his total income for the year 24-25 will also come down to 12 lakh. So we will compute that if 3 lakh have received on 2023-24, his total income for 2024-25 also will become how much? 12 lakh. Now tell me total income 12 lakh and how much will be the basic tax plus cess? Same figure. Basic tax plus cess will be 1,79,400. Are you with me? His basic tax plus cess would have become 1,79,400. Are you all here? Now let's see. Now friends tell me. Now let's think logically. Okay. Now let's think logically. Listen. He received that 3 lakh. Now let's come to the actuals. He received that 3 lakh when 24-25. He received that 3 lakh in the year 24-25. And what is the salary? What is the tax liability including the 3 lakh? 273. Yes or no? And what is the actual tax paid by him in 23-24? That is 96,200. Because actual tax, that means the actual income for 23-24 is only 9. And he have paid 96,200. If he would have received that particular additional 3 lakh in 23-24 itself, then his tax liability would have been 179,600. Sorry, 179,400. Are you with me? Yes. If he would have received that amount in last year itself, what is the additional liability that he would have to pay? Additional liability that, I'll write it in full, okay? Additional tax liability that would have been paid by employee in the year 23-24 would have been 179,400 minus 96,200. 96,200. Can you help me in the math? 83,200. He would have to pay an additional 83,200 if he would have received that amount in 23-24 itself. Are you with me? If he would have received in the last year, he would have paid an additional 83,200. Are you with me? Now to the reality. What is the additional sum he have actually paid right now? See, if he would have received, listen, if he would have received that 3 lakh in 23-24, his total income in 24-25 also will come down to 12 lakh. Then the actual tax that he would have to pay in 24-25 is 179,400. Due to this late receipt, what is his suffering? 2,73,000 he is paid right now. Are you with me? Now, the point is, what is the additional tax liability suffered by the employee due to salary arrear? What is the additional liability that he suffered due to the salary arrear? Let's see. It is 2,73,000 is the actual sum paid, but the sum would have been paid as 179,400. So can you tell me how much is the additional liability? 93,600. Yes or no? Now common sense. You tell me now what is the relief? Now you tell me what is the relief? 93,600 minus 83,200 will be the relief. That is the actual additional suffering for you. Yes or no? That is the actual additional suffering for you, and that suffering can be claimed as a relief. So, relief under 89, under section 89 will be 93,600 minus 83,200. That would be how much? 10,400 will be the relief under section 89. And from which figure you claim this relief? Very simple. What is the actual liability? 2,73,000 is the actual liability. From that you can claim relief under section 89. That is 10,400. The remaining will be your tax liability. How much is the tax liability after netting of this? 2,62,600. This is how you have to compute the relief. Let's summarize everything. So I want all of you to be super attentive right now. So listen, what all are the events happened in this? Say, listen, where we started from the arrear. So there was some dispute between the employer and the employee. And hence, in the year 2023, the actual salary received by the employee was only 9 lakh. Yes or no? But in the very next year, the dispute got over and the employer paid additional 3 lakh for the past year as well. That means the next year's salary become 12, plus he paid an additional 3 lakh, which is on account of the last year, but it realized on next year. Due to that delay, due to that arrear effect, his total income become 15 lakh. And he is supposed to pay a tax liability of 273. Yes or no? Due to that, his last year income was only 9 because he received that 3 next year only. So it was only 9. And the tax that he have actually paid in the last year is 96,200. If that 3 lakh received on the last year itself, then his liability would have been 179,400. That means additionally he is supposed to pay around 83,200. Since that 3 lakh received in the next year only, he is supposed to pay a liability of 273. If that 3 lakh received on the last year, his tax liability in the current year would have been only 179,400. So actually how much he paid extra? 93,600. But it should have been 83,200 in the last year. So the difference amount, that extra amount due to that difference, due to that arrear can be claimed as relief. And how much is the extra amount? 10,400. That you can claim as the relief from the current year tax liability. Only the net you are supposed to pay as your taxes. Are you with me? This is the concept of relief. Is that point clear? Is that point clear? Now let's go back to the theory. Okay. Now let's go back to the theory and read that theory one by one. Okay. So what is relief under 89, friends? Very simple. Relief where by reason of any portion of assessee's salary being paid in arrears or in advance or by a reason of having received in any one financial year salary for more than 12 months or payment of profit in lieu of salary under 17 subsection 3. His income assessed at a rate higher than the rate at which it would otherwise have been assessed. The assessing officer shall, on application made to him in this behalf, grant such relief as prescribed. So here he would have paid last year an additional of 83,200. If that 3 lakh would have received last year, would have paid an additional tax of 83,200. But since due to receipt of that arrear in 24-25, he suffered 93,600 as extra. So that difference he can claim as what? Relief. That is your suffering. Yes or no? Yes. The purpose of relief is to give relief from sufferings. You understand what is the suffering? You will understand what is the relief. Otherwise, you will never understand relief. It is impossible to by heart also. It is literally impossible to by heart. You should know what is the suffering. If you know what is the suffering, you understand what is the relief. Are you with me? Yeah. And there are 2 notes under that. What is note number 1? Similar tax relief is extended to the assessees who receive arrears of family pension as defined in explanation to clause 57, clause number 3A. You can receive you are eligible to claim a relief for the family pension also. This we will study under IFRS. Okay. Family pension and its deduction is coming under income from others rules. So for the time being, just forget it. Family pension means a regular monthly amount payable by the employer to a person belonging to the family of the employee in the event of his death. Family pension means just like widow pension. It's a family pension. Husband died. Now the company will pay what? A small pension to the widow. Are you with me? So this is what they are saying. I hope the concept of relief is clear. Yes. By this I can say all the theory in this chapter is over. The complete theory in salary chapter is over. We have nothing left in this chapter. We have problems to solve. We have problems to solve. We will solve later. Are you all with me?
So, my dear ones, this is CA Joe's Kurian, and this video is to inform you about how to purchase our book as well as recorded lectures. For the book, you visit www.cajoeskurian.com. Then you scroll down and you can see our both handbook as well as workbook for CA as well as CMA, Inter as well as Final. For the lectures, you scroll up, then click on to the classroom. In the classroom, you can scroll down and you can see all courses listed. We have CMA Final English as well as Malayalam, then CA Final English as well as Malayalam, then we have CA Inter English as well as Malayalam. Then select your course, make the payment, and you will get instant access. Alright, now what are you waiting for, friends? Subscribe now. All the very best, take care, and God bless you all.